Hi everyone, real quick tutorial on the nature of the data, how it's organized, how to copy and paste correctly. What we've done is we've shared two spreadsheets with you, one of which here is the original data that's to be copied from. The second one is a master spreadsheet, which is largely blank. That's to be pasted into. The first thing I recommend you do is copy the master spreadsheet, perhaps to your own computer, or if you wish, here on Dropbox, paste, and rename it with your name in it, so your work is distinguishable from someone else's work, perhaps. And then open that renamed master spreadsheet up. So that's what I'll do here, just to follow the correct formula. Next thing, take a look at the original data spreadsheet. It is originally organized into these four tabs. You can click around at the lower left. They're sort of obvious what they are. The first one is body sherds, undecorated body sherds. The second one are body sherds that have some sort of decoration on them. The next one are rim sherds that may or may not have some sort of decoration on them. And then the final one are sort of the stone tools or the lithics. If we go to the renamed master spreadsheet, we'll see it's largely blank, although I have put the headings in the correct order in there for you. As you scroll to the right, you'll notice these gigantic vertical black lines. That is to distinguish one sort of spreadsheet from the next. So to its left are the undecorated body sherds. To its right is the next tab spreadsheet, which are the body sherds that are decorated or diagnostic in one way or another. And as we continue to scroll to the right, you'll see two more gigantic vertical black lines that serve to separate the additional tab spreadsheets. So hopefully that's not too confusing. Now back to the original data, we sort of have two sets of data, and these are just the order in which Laura and I analyzed them once upon a time. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. We just grabbed bags and analyzed what was in them. So we had begun our analysis with excavation data. So here is the Monhe site, excavation unit or square number 1, and then the level, which corresponds to a depth below the surface there. So when you see something that looks like this, it's excavation data. However, when you see something that looks like this, that is survey data. And here we have survey or collection lot B718. We have the UTMs you're familiar with, and we have the sort of collection it is. In this case, this is a surface collection, or SUP for superficie, which means surface. We still have to add in information here, but the important point I wish to make at the beginning is these four columns are super duper duper important. So please don't change or alter them in any way through the course of this assignment. Now let's pretend, just for the sake of discussion, we are responsible for copying and pasting the data for survey lot B718. As you click around the tabs, you'll notice there is a B718. Sometimes we must scroll down to see it. For I believe, yes, each and every one of the tab spreadsheets. That's not always going to be the case. Sometimes they're scattered around. Because the spreadsheet's so large, north to south, sometimes it can be very time consuming to find what you need. So we just do the Control F function and we say, hey, find me lot B17. And there it is. It'll oftentimes do so. You might have to click around a little. Anyway, we're pretending we're responsible for doing that. So in other words, I want the data for B17 here So the first thing we're going to do is highlight the first 4 columns, the super important information, right? I'm going to copy. I can press Control-C on my keyboard, but since you can't see that, I'm simply going to go right-click and go to Copy. I'll then go to the master spreadsheet and say Paste. It's best to do that because typing the UTMs, one always screws it up sooner or later. That's really a big deal in the first few numbers rather than the last few, but nonetheless, copying and pasting avoids that problem. Next step, I'm going to go back to the original data spreadsheet and say, hey, let's copy. And I'm just holding the left mouse key down, not letting it go, and dragging all the way to the right to the final column. Then I'll say, please copy that. I will go to my master spreadsheet and I will say, paste that. Now you'll notice here in Excel you have a variety of paste functions. For the numbers, at least, please do the second one, the one that has a 1, 2, 3 attached to it. And that just makes things easier in case formulas are hidden or attached in there. It's just a quirk of Excel. You'll notice here that we have several unknown sherds, a 7 and a 2. These correspond, the 7 and 2 here, with the unknown sherds listed up here. So that's a convenient check to make sure you're really in the right row. Now here's the trick I've learned over the years just to save a little bit of time because this can be so time consuming. Here's our survey collection lot we're interested in here. If we were to click and drag this one row, you'll be here for a relatively long time because it's such a wide spreadsheet. So here's what I recommend. I'm already giving up on that. Scroll to the end of the spreadsheet, making sure the whole time we're in row 32. At the end of the spreadsheet, and let's do this final row because occasionally there are some notes here. I'm just going to left click that one cell. I'm then going to hold down the Shift key on my keyboard and not let it go. And then, with my other hand, I'm going to press the Home key, which is ordinarily above the numbers on the right side of your keyboard. So I'm pressing that now. And you'll see it's highlighted the entire row for me without all that tedious clicking and dragging. I'm going to release the Shift key now. I'm going to come over here and right-click, don't left-click, but right-click, and say Copy. I'm going to go back to the master spreadsheet, making sure then to advance past that vertical solid black line that represents the separation between the two. I'm going to right-click again, copy, or paste, I should say, the values. And voila, we have done so. In this case, it does not appear there's much, if any, data in the way of decorated body sherds attached to this collection lot. I'm going to do the same for the next one, the diagnostic rim data sheet. Here we have our collection lot down here. I want to click and drag, but that's time consuming. So I'm going to advance and advance and advance to the very end of the spreadsheet where it ordinarily says notes, making sure, because it's highlighted over here, I'm in the correct row. Once again, I am holding down the Shift key, pressing Home, releasing the Shift key, right-click, copy, back to the master, right-click, paste values, and once again it looks like a variety of blank cells. I ask that you do copy and paste the blank cells because the spreadsheets are so long. Every now and then there's like a 1 or a 2 in there that escapes notice. So just to ensure that we get those, copy and paste or make it mindless. Finally, we go back to the original data, lithics. There's my row again. In this case, it's not a very wide spreadsheet. I'm not going to bother doing this one because there's nothing in it for this individual collection lot, but you get the gist. I hope at this point we go back to our master spreadsheet. Now everything for this one collection lot is on one very, very large and wide, I should say, spreadsheet. Now we're going to call that done. We can then go on to the next row, whatever that is, whether it's excavation data or survey data, and repeat the process and repeat the process and repeat the process. You've all been assigned 200 and something rows to do. It's very tedious. I appreciate your help, and that's why we extend the co-authorship your way. And of course, it's not the only tedious thing to do, just the only tedious task at this moment worth doing. There may be some future ones as well. So thank you for your help, your time, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Take care.